Hello, and welcome to this episode of What's Up, Dr. Dovec. Now, you might read this subject line and scroll through your Facebook feed, but I'm here to tell you that you need to pay attention. I'm going to tell you some incredibly unbelievable statistics and information about the incredible work that is happening right here at the GBMC SAFE program. So what is that? Well, we're going to tell you here in a moment. I know everywhere you've been turning lately, it's about COVID-19, COVID-19, COVID-19. This is about the other side of COVID-19, the side where maybe kids out there who are being abused aren't able to go to schools and aren't able to report that predator behavior. Maybe a spouse is being abused at home, domestic violence, maybe that's happening. And sex trafficking, you might think, oh, that's only things for the movies and people getting swept away in white vans. I'm here to tell you, guess what? It's happening. It's happening all around you. It's happening in Baltimore County as the number 3 most frequent place it's happening in the state of Maryland. And GBMC is offering some incredible care, some things I had no idea were going on behind the doors of GBMC that is keeping our most vulnerable patients safe at this time. So I am having the most amazing opportunity to introduce you to Ms. Ashley McAree, who is going to tell you about her work in the SAFE program. So Ash, what is SAFE? What is this?
Well, first, thank you so much for having me today. I'm really excited to be here. But the SAFE program is the Sexual Assault Forensic Examination Program. And we are coordinated by registered nurses and victim advocates that we're all specially trained to work with our special patient population. So basically what we do is we provide medical forensic services. That includes medical forensic exams like sexual assault exams, non-fatal strangulation for domestic violence situations. We provide child abuse exams, both physical and sexual, and human trafficking exams. Basically, what we do with the examinations, it's a medical exam where we're also collecting forensic evidence at the same time, whether that be swabs of someone's body in an attempt to get maybe a DNA profile, that may be forensic photography, and then that also may be just documenting injuries. Once we compile our charts, we provide those with patient consent to the law enforcement agencies who are investigating a crime in our state's attorney's office. And then we'll also go and testify about what we did, why we did it, our findings, and our opinions about that. So that's basically the services that we offer to our patients, along with victim advocacy services. And then another part of what we do that's really important is community outreach. So we spend a lot of time in the community, talking about what services we offer, talking about what we can do for patients, but also really focusing on prevention. We want to stop these crimes from occurring before they even happen.
That is what I'm so excited to talk to you about today. I'm here to talk to you about prevention, but also if it is happening, that there is a safe place and how patients can get those services from you. And just to learn more about your team. So I find it fascinating that you told me that you have 19 specialty trained certified forensic nurses. That sounds so cool. So tell me how in the world, well, first let's start off. Let's back up. Let's go to your early nursing days. So did you always know you wanted to become a forensic nurse?
I did, not a forensic nurse, but I always knew that I wanted to work in nursing. I always loved, oh, that's baby Ashley. That is when I graduated nursing school. So naive, so sweet. I always knew I wanted to be a nurse. I loved science. I loved medicine. And I went into nursing and I loved it, loved everything about it. But once I found the forensic program, I really felt like, okay, this is what I was born to do. It's really my passion. And I really feel like I found kind of my place in nursing.
So this pic here, this is you started at GBMC 8 years ago, 2012. You said, you weren't a forensic nurse at first. You started out with the Med-Surg Psych Unit, Unit 36. And,
yes.
And so tell me, how in the world, how did the path go from wanting to be a nurse, take care of people, all the way to this very specialized aspect of nursing?
So I was working on Unit 36, and I loved that job. It was just a very interesting, just cool job. I loved my patients, loved my coworkers. One of my supervisors actually took the forensic nursing training here at GBMC, and when she said that she was getting involved in forensics, I was just like, what does that mean? I didn't even know that this was even a nursing specialty. So I looked into the course and I talked with my family about it. And I said, I'm really interested in this and I think I want to enroll in this course. And I took the course right here at GBMC to become a forensic nurse examiner for adolescents and adults. And that allowed me to care for patients 13 years of age and above. And then once I completed that certification, I went on to complete a certification to care for children, so from birth up until age 12. So now I'm able to care for patients across the lifespan, but lots of hard work, but I'm so happy to be here.
I mean, your passion for this specialty is just contagious. I want to run through a wall right now and I want to get these people and I want to help these patients. You know, you told me something interesting offline that you have treated anywhere from 2 months all the way up to 97 years old. Wow, what a span of the lifespan here. And people who can be impacted by what the SAFE program can help with. Domestic violence, abuse, sex trafficking. I mean, just unbelievable work. And it didn't just happen overnight. I know that your team has evolved. So your team first started off pretty small. And now, I mean, this is just incredible.
That's us now.
Wow, look at this. Is it all women?
It's all women, yes. Not that we don't allow men to join our group. We would love men to join our group. We just haven't had any apply as of yet. But we started very small. When I started in 2014, my manager, Laura Clary, had just taken on that leadership role. And at that time, we were only treating victims of sexual assault 13 years of age and above. And she really looked at that and said, we're missing a huge gap in our community. So we worked really hard to get all the nurses certified to be able to treat children and expand our services to now we offer services for domestic violence and child abuse, human trafficking, as well as sexual assault.
Wow. You know, it's incredible that here at GBMC in Towson, Maryland, we're one of the only comprehensive programs that treats the entire lifespan in the entire United States. That's amazing. Just absolutely incredible. So tell me what the process is like for these patients. How do they get to you? How do they report this behavior and what do you do? Tell me more about your program and how we can get help.
Sure. So you can enter our program through so many different ways. You can come right to the emergency room to request a forensic examination or victim advocacy services. You can call our office number, which is 443-849-3323, in order to speak with a forensic nurse or a victim advocate to see what kind of services we might be able to offer you. You can also visit our website, which is gbmc.org/safe-dv.
Wow. So patients, they either come to the ER and then they can be directly taken back. So what is the process like? I mean, I can only imagine if I am someone that's been abused, I finally get out of my house, I'm seeking help, I go to the ER, am I going to have all the loud hustle bustle, the lights? I mean, this is vulnerable. If someone was raped or something happened in their home, what is the environment like?
So the environment, so basically when someone comes into the emergency room, a forensic nurse will meet them within 1 hour. And we are very, very lucky here at GBMC to have our own special area to treat our patients. So these are pictures of our new Safe Suite. We just opened in February, actually on Valentine's Day, we opened this new unit. A little bit of background, before we had this unit, we had a very small unit with just one exam room. It was extremely tiny. And we were seeing that more than one patient was coming into the hospital at once. And we couldn't treat both at the same time because we had one exam room. So that patient would either have to wait up to 6 hours while we finished the first exam before they could get treated. And we saw this as a big, big issue because we could always, have another nurse come in and treat them in the emergency department. Our emergency department is fabulous, but it's not an ideal location for these exams. It's loud. It's, it's a little bright. It's not very private. So that's why we really worked hard to get our new unit. And it's fabulous. We have 2 huge exam rooms with a private bathroom. We have specialized equipment. It's all state of the art. We have a family waiting room. We have a coffee bar for our patients, their family members, for our partners, like our law enforcement officers. It's just a fabulous, fabulous area. We also worked with our law enforcement partners and our state's attorney's office to actually put in a forensic interview room for children in the unit. So prior to this, a child would come in for an exam and then they would have to get transported way down York Road to go for a forensic interview. And now they are actually able to stay in our unit and have that interview done with AV capabilities and some monitoring abilities from the other room, which is pretty amazing. It's very trauma informed and it's really good for our pediatric patients.
How do you feel that COVID-19 has impacted your volume of pediatric and adult patients that are coming in as victims to these crimes?
So certain victims have been coming in, but some of our numbers are down, our domestic violence and some of our child physical abuse. And we don't think that it's not happening, and it's not why people aren't coming in, but it's because, people are stuck at home with the stay-at-home orders, and they don't have a way to get out, especially if the abuse is happening in their own homes. So we do anticipate once things kind of go back to normal, people are getting out of their houses and kids are back in school, there's going to be a large influx of reports of different types of abuse.
So you heard it. People, it is happening. This abuse is still happening. It is not being reported. People don't feel safe. They can't get out. Maybe kids aren't going to school to tell someone safe at school, a teacher or someone trusted, an adult. Victims are terrified. They're terrified right now. And with the stay-at-home orders being lifted, that is going to allow maybe more patients out there. Maybe you who are watching this right now, you're scared and you don't know where to turn. If you come to GBMC, if you come to the ER, someone will take you to this beautiful, safe, calming environment so that these beautiful nurses can take care of you and can help you in a very safe way get the help that you need. And I want to talk about all that you're doing with specifically child sex trafficking. What is this? What is this going on?
Yeah, it's crazy. A lot of people don't think that it's an issue, but it's a really, really big issue. So specifically about child sex trafficking, it's any time that a minor, someone under the age of 18, has involvement in commercial sex. Commercial sex would be any kind of sexual act exchanged for money or something else of value. So with child sex trafficking specifically, there's mainly three types. There is trafficker-controlled, non-trafficker-controlled, and familial. So with trafficker-controlled, there's going to be a controlling individual facilitating the commercial sex with the minor through force, fraud, or coercion. With non-trafficker-controlled, this is what gets really confusing to some people because the trafficker may or may not be involved and it's still considered trafficking. So with the non-trafficker controlled, that's any minor who has involvement in commercial sex. So that may be a patient or a victim who is a teenager who is exchanging any kind of sexual act for money. Sometimes that includes survival sex. So that might include a patient or a victim who is homeless, a child who's homeless, very vulnerable, and they're exchanging sexual acts in order to find a place to stay. And then the third one is familiar trafficking. And this is a really, really sad topic. But basically, this is when a family member is controlling that individual and facilitating commercial sex. And sometimes we'll see this, again, really hard topic, but with parents who have substance abuse issues. And in order to maintain their drug supply, they might give their child to their drug dealer for the night, which does happen. Or another example, especially something that is more common with this pandemic, is maybe a landlord is saying, I'm going to evict you, but I'll make sure your rent is paid this month if I can have your child for the night. So people are really, really vulnerable, and it is happening everywhere.
I mean, my goodness, I'm embarrassed to say I have never considered these things in this detail before. In my understanding, not to make light of it, was that sex trafficking meant that, like the movie of Liam Neeson's Taken, that young girls are swiped away and then they're meant to dance in front of men and for sex. And I mean, you see that, but it's not that. How did the predators? How do they get these children? What's the target there?
It really depends. And like you said, it's not like you see in the movies. It's not like you see on SVU or on television. And that's why there's so many myths that are kind of going around, because people have this idea of what a trafficking victim should look like. They're going to be kidnapped. They're going to be held against their will. There's a white van in this situation. And typically it's not like that at all. Studies show that the majority of victims know their traffickers. So these are not strangers to the victims. So it's definitely not like that. But we're kind of talking about online with the pandemic. A lot of kids have a lot more access online, and predators can target children online. So that's one of the main ways that predators are kind of connecting with children right now in order to recruit them, is through online gamings and apps.
You told me something offline which was incredible, that there are 17 million reports in the United States per year of this happening, and 15 million of them are happening through Facebook. So how does that occur?
So it's very surprising. So that's according to the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children. And they received 17 million tips in 2019 related to suspected child sexual exploitation. And like you said, 15 million came from Facebook. Other apps that have been used are apps that like these kids love, that are super fun, like Snapchat or TikTok, that are kind of all over right now. Predators are using them to target our children. Another one that was really surprising to me was Roblox. If anyone's not familiar with Roblox, that is a game that is geared towards the younger populations, like 6, 7, 8, 9 years old. And it's kind of like Minecraft, where kids can kind of build their own virtual world. But the problem is that there's also chat features in those games that predators can connect to kids with. And that's the issue. If a child is using an application, it's very easy for a predator to get on there and pose as a child.
So let's set the scene here. We've all been at stay-at-home orders. We're all struggling. Kids are at home, parents are at home, and it's easy to say, take your iPad, go on your iPad for another hour, get on the internet. It's an easy way of supervising you, if you will. I mean, we all do it. So can this happen? It doesn't happen in Baltimore County, I'm sure, though, right?
Oh, no. Unfortunately, it does happen in Baltimore County. I know that we all love hard data. We love statistics, but unfortunately with this topic, we don't have a lot of hard data because it is extremely underreported, and because it's a kind of underground crime. But what we do know is, according to the human trafficking hotline, that map that you were showing, there has been over 23,000 survivors identified in the United States in 2018. And when you look at this map, this is just the reports. This doesn't even show the full scope of trafficking. But when you look at the eastern coast, I mean, it's a big red dot. And then according to the Department of Human Services, Baltimore County ranks number 3 in the entire state for child sex trafficking, right below Baltimore City and Prince George's County. So it is happening in Baltimore County. Specifically with COVID-19, like you said, schools are shut down, and there's a significant increase in online usage for children, right? And there's also a decrease in supervision. It's not like parents are being neglectful. It's not because parents don't care. It's because we're all juggling and we're all trying to get through this pandemic together. Some of us are working full time from home, and our newfound role of being homeschool teachers. And it's a lot of stress related to this pandemic. So like you said, it's really easy just to say, go entertain yourself for a little bit on your iPad. But what happens is predators are really capitalizing on this and using this as an opportunity to target our children. So that's why it's really important for parents to know this is happening, what to look out for and how to protect our kids. So these are some tips for parents. We want to believe as parents that our children are smart and that nothing bad will happen to them. They're only in their bedroom, but unfortunately, traffickers can abuse children even without leaving their homes. And it's not that children aren't smart, it's just that predators are very smart too. So some tips for parents that I like to give is to first maintain open and honest communication. Talk with your children about what is going on. Talk with them about the dangers of the world in age-appropriate ways, and let them know that you're always available to talk, right? And then another one is Teach your child to only speak with people that they know in real life online. Don't chat with people they don't know. Never give identifying information like birth dates or locations or what school they go to or anything that could identify that child. And then you're going to want to familiarize yourself with what your child is doing online. You want to know, who are they chatting with? How are they chatting with them? How are they communicating with family and friends? What are they playing? What games are they playing? Do these games have chat functions? And something else to look into is parental controls. Know what kind of parental controls these games and apps have. Disable any location services, and then adjust any kind of privacy. Most iPads, smartphones, computers all have parental controls, so it's really important to kind of look into that and try to adjust that to keep your child safe. The most important thing that I like to tell parents, though, is it takes a lot of courage for a child to disclose when something happened to them, a lot of courage. And if they're telling you something, we have found that children typically don't let you know the entire story all at once. What they do is they give you a little tidbit of information, and then they see how you're going to react. If you react in a negative way or a way that they didn't expect, a way they don't like, they're going to completely shut down. So what you want to do is just remain open-minded, be non-judgmental, support them, let them know that you believe them, and 9 times out of 10, they'll come back and tell you the rest of the story.
Great tips. So step 1 is prevention, is just knowing what to look out for, knowing that you need to look, is your child chatting with anyone online? Do these apps have chat features to summarize? Are they talking to someone that they don't know in real life? What are the conversations happening? How do you put these parental controls on the phones? These are important things to prevent it. But sometimes, despite our best efforts and our best intentions, we don't prevent it. And these things do occur. So when somebody is involved with it and someone, let's say a child does share that tip with the parent and they are receptive to it, where in the world do they start? How, again, just tell us, how can they get more information or come in? How do they get that process started?
So the first thing, if a child discloses to you that something bad happened, the first thing and the most important thing is to just be supportive of that child. Make sure that they're okay. See if they need any help. Ask them how you can help them get them through that situation. The second thing to do, if it's any kind of online exploitation or suspected exploitation, try to save some evidence. So try to save some screenshots. If there's any chats that are going on, take pictures of it. If there's any photos, save everything that you can. Write down your child's story about what they told you. And then you want to contact police so they can kind of look into this. Another great contact is the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children. They have the tip line. They have the 1-800 number. We also have the human trafficking hotline. This is a 24/7 service. And they have a lot of great resources. They can connect you to resources. They can help with decision making. And that number is 1-888-3737-888. And then for our SAFE program, so we offer, again, 24/7, 365 days a year coverage for victim advocates and forensic nurses. And you can call our office number at 443-849-3323. Visit our website at gbmc.org/safe-dv, or just come right into the hospital.
So, you gave us so much amazing information. You taught us how to prevent this if it is happening to victims, how they can get it. They can go to websites, they can call numbers. But as you mentioned, at GBMC, 19 certified forensic nurses, all expertly trained, are on call 24/7, 365, 2 of them at any time, including 6 victim activists as well. All of the services that you provide, you mentioned, are free. That new unit that you just saw, that beautiful state-of-the-art facility where patients can very safely, in a welcoming, calming manner, be examined, have these very intimate, personal, private swabs taken for evidence for down the road. It can be done in a way the child can feel comfortable. But all of this is offered, this incredible service is offered for free. So, I am so inspired. How in the world do I donate? How do I help this incredible cause that we're doing here at GBMC?
Thank you. Yeah, so all of our services are offered completely free of charge. We never send any of our patients a bill. I mean, we do rely heavily on grants and donations. I know that on our website, the gbmc.org/safe-dv, there is a link to donate if you would like to donate to our program.
So, Ashley, let's recap here. We have a team of over 25 certified specialist forensic nurses who are here to take care of you in a beautiful facility, all brand new. But number one, it does take donations. So if you out there would love to help this incredible cause, again, go to the website gbmc.org/safe-dv. That's gbmc.org/safe-dv to donate. And also, if you need more tips and tricks, go to the website for ways that you as a parent can help to prevent this. And also, finally, our victims out there, our victims, we feel you and we know how sensitive, how scary, how frightened you are. But we promise you that we will take care of you in the most empathetic, compassionate way with this team. So please come to us, seek us, and we will walk you through every step of the way. And ultimately, I'm sure that you will become one of our family that we will just love to help. So Ashley, please, in closing, tell us all really just what you feel is the most important thing that we need to know about this SAFE program at GBMC and what we can do.
Just that we're available all the time, and COVID-19 has not shut our doors, thankfully. We have made some patient flow changes to make patients more comfortable and to try to, do our best to keep them safe. So we will do everything we can to bypass the emergency room unless there's an emergent medical issue, and take them right back to our safe suite. For anyone over the age of 18, we do not report without your consent. So you can come to us. It's completely confidential. We will not call the police unless you ask us to. But for children, we will, as mandated reporters, have to report certain things to law enforcement. That's something that we will discuss once you come in. But as adults, you have all your rights. For sexual assault, if you're 13 years of age or above, you have the right to remain anonymous as well. So if you're 13 years of age or older and you were sexually assaulted, you are able to come in and get confidential services just like an adult.
Such great information. It's wonderful to hear that they are open. They are open even with COVID. They're taking extra safe precautions, but you will be safe. The SAFE program is helping to save lives. Ashley, thank you. Thank you so much for being here, for educating us. And I hope that you learned something out there. So on behalf of this episode of What's Up, Dr. Dovec, be safe. Thank you.